If Bleach is not in the conversation for anime of the season, I have lost all faith in the anime community because holy shit. Episode 30, The Betrayer, was an 5 out of 5 episode. It was so freaking good. But before that, just a quick touch base on this whole situation of last week. I missed it. I missed putting out a video because it was a big weekend here in Austin and I got caught up in all that and I just didn't get around to it. So, on my quick review of that, episode 29, it was a 4 out of 5. It was very good. The only reason I'm knocking it at a point is because I wanted more of Ukitake's backstory. We got to see him summon Mimihagi, a very emotional, uh, story-filled episode. I loved it, and the only knock on that I have on it is that I wish there was more of it. So, that bit aside, also we got a hint of Aizen, which is pretty cool. I know what we're about to see, but given the fact that I knew what we were going to see this week, and then this week completely blew my expectations out of the water, it's a good time to be a Bleach fan. Trust me when I say this, it is a very good time to be a Bleach fan. So, just a reminder, this Thousand Year Blood War is the war between the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's. Who's right, who's wrong? That comes down to each group. They believe they're right and they believe they're wrong. You know, I'm team Ichigo and Orihime, so that's where I stand. Everyone else is wrong. But holy shit, like I knew we were gonna have this situation where Yuhabaha was going to try to absorb the Soul King, and Ichigo was gonna try to stop him. Uryu was gonna show up, and that was pretty much the basics of it, you know, because I have read the manga. But I was not expecting this. Let me stop myself for a second. I was seeing a bunch of reports saying that there's going to be 12 new minutes of unseen footage in this week's episode. No shit. Core 3 and Core 4 is going to have a lot of brand new content because that's what Kubo and the studio wanted. They kind of kept Core 1 and 2 very tight with the manga, cuts out little bits and pieces that they didn't feel they needed, moves shit around, because in Core 3 and Core 4, they were going to really expand on it and lean into Tate Kubo to fill in a lot of blanks and have him tell the story that he wasn't able to tell because of all the situation that happened back then. This is a prime example of that because in the original manga, it wasn't this intense. I'm about 95% sure that we did not see Uryu's Volstandic. And when I saw him pull that off in his fight with Ichigo, holy shit. Like, I sat up straight. I was invested. This feels brand new to me, which I absolutely love. That said, for all the YouTubers out there that keep on dogging on Chad and Ganju, these dudes should not be anywhere in the battlefield. But they have the balls to be there. Same goes with Orihime. Orihime is a lot stronger than what people give her credit. So we've seen examples of that when her shield has stopped Yuhabaha's attack and even what's his name, Gerard's attack today. But these characters are there trying to stop the Soul King. Obviously, Yaorichi's there. She looks so fucking good doing her spell casting on this week's episode. There's so much to just gush over on this week's episode. But when Pernida shows up and fucks up her arm, that was new. And then she gets tossed off of the castle, which, you know, this is giving us a lot of information that we missed on the manga. Seeing all this go down, seeing Yuhabaha fighting Ichigo and then fighting the Mimihagi. And it's not like your typical fight. He was trying to take control, and Mimihagi was trying to keep him at bay. Um, Obviously, that fails. Yuhabaha's very strong, and Mimihagi was going off of the life force of Ukitake, who has been sick. And it's just a bad combination. These people, they've gotten stronger, and Mimihagi was not able to hold its own against Yuhabaha, and he lost. Ukitake's life seems to be forfeited, and Yuhabaha has absorbed the Soul King, fully awakening his Almighty, which is all those eyes that you see on him and the opening intro song. So, yeah, we are in a very bad spot. For every step forward that the Soul Reapers gets, they just get tossed back 4 or 5 steps. Because holy crap, he is right now. He is officially the strongest character in the Bleach universe. And I guess at the very end of it all, he ends up being the strongest. But that's neither here nor there. That's for conversation on Core 4 last episode. I can guarantee that one. But yeah, we got to see there was so much added to the battle between Ichigo and Uryu. Ichigo obviously does not want to hurt Uryu. He feels betrayed, and he's trying to figure out why. Uryu, right now, he is Team Quincy. He's waving that Quincy flag. His pride is very in the forefront. It's one of those situations where if you're an old school anime watcher, it's when Majin Buu or Majin Vegeta became Majin Vegeta. He was doing so good for so long, he lost his way, let himself become taken over by the Majin, and he became Majin Vegeta, all for the sake of fighting and beating Goku. I'm not comparing Uryu to Vegeta, but that trope is there. Like, he found the truth. He found out the truth that happened, in the past, how his grandfather was killed, and now he just wants to kill the Soul Reapers. And the fight between the two was very well animated. Uryu was doing stuff with his bow and arrow that it would have never crossed my mind. He's shooting it with his feet. Like, holy shit, they're really giving Uryu some love, which, I have. It's hard for me to knock any characters in Bleach. I have plenty of friends that love Uryu, and this is just going to make them love Uryu even more. Ichigo, you can tell he's not giving it his all because he's hurt. This is a man who is supposed to be one of his closest friends. Outside of Chad, maybe his best friend. And he's stopping Ichigo from, stopping Yuhabaha. And you can see the pain on Ichigo's in his eyes when he's sitting there fighting. He doesn't want to fight, and Uryu's just throwing everything at him. And even when Ichigo does his Getsugo Jushiro, he completely misses, and Uryu calls him out on him. The fact that Ichigo never goes Bankai tells you automatically he's not going all out because he does not want to hurt a friend. He already hurt Uryu in the past and he felt horrible. Ichigo stabbed Uryu in the gut when he was full hollow. And he felt horrible because of that. So he has no ill will towards Uryu. But seeing Uryu stand with the enemies is really throwing him off. And at the end, Uryu shoots a hole in his stomach, and Ichigo falls. In Ichigo's mind, he doesn't want to accept what's going on, and that's the nail in the coffin. That's the moment where he has to realize, like, oh shit, like, I'm going to have to take this more seriously, and if I have to, I will have to beat Uryu, beat some sense into him, and get them to come back to us. And that's going to be, a portion of the story that continues forward. Obviously, we still have Baha to deal with, but yeah, seeing Chad, Orihime, and Ganju try to at least distract um, the generals of Yuhabaha's army was a fun thing to see. More Chad and Orihime is always a good thing in my book. Seeing Yaorichi's arm get fucked up by Pernida, oh, that's going to lead to so much. But that's giving us, the viewers, more of a glimpse of of who Pernida really is. That one I'm trying to not spoil, but if you know, you know. But yeah, this episode was so freaking good. Oh man, I can't stress it enough how good it was. Um, and I have read reports that the cut count in this anime is pretty much doubled what it used to be, and it shows there's so much going on. Like I said, in the fight with Uryu and Ichigo, I called it a few episodes ago, that we're getting so much new content. The quality is so good, and this was just the first few episodes of the core. Like, it was only going to get better, and this is a prime example of how good it's gonna be. Like, I don't think this is gonna be the top. There's gonna be more fights. There's gonna be so many more fights that I'm excited for all of us to see. But the fact that they've added this much on this fight and these scenarios, I'm excited to see what Kubo and the team adds to the next upcoming fights. Because pretty much, if there's a captain that you really like, you're going to see more from them. And it's going to be a very good time. Like I said, it is a good time to be a Bleach fan. Hell, I have 2 brand new Funkos, 3 if you want to count my Ukiora, and then I got 4 coming in the mail. It's been a very, 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 very amazing time to be a Bleach fan. Of course, if you stay away from Twitter, you're going to be okay, because Twitter is a fucking mess with all the weird anime fans that just rage bait shit. But if you can find a good anime community, there's a few that I'm a part of that I absolutely love, talking Bleach and Naruto and Kaiju Number 8 and Haikyuu, all the animes. It's a good time to be an anime fan. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end this week's episode. Hopefully I can get this out pretty quick. And I can get online, with my buddies and really talk about the anime, because there's so much I want to just converse with people. And some of the anime groups that I'm a part of, they have people that are just jumping into Bleach, so I don't want to spoil it for them. This is the one time that I'll respect the spoiler rule, because if you know me, after 2 weeks, fuck it. I will spoil you if you're in the conversation there, or if you're in the area of conversation, because, especially if it's on a 10-year-old anime, 20-year-old anime. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end this before I go off on a rant about that. I hope you have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.